This is the second YouTube video for today, and this one's going to be sex game, why men lie to women for sex. Now, there are 5 reasons for this, and I'm about to explain it. Now, men from the ages of 18 to 35, and I guess we could say up to 40, because guys in their late 40s, mid 50s, they probably may not lie, but just for argument's sake, and I say for argument's sake, I'm going to say up to 45, just to be on the safe side. Now, this is for guys that are sexually frustrated. These are for men that want the answers to their begging question, why do women make a big deal out of men lying? And I'm here to answer that and give you 5 reasons why men lie to women for sex. Now, 90% of the time, when men do this, it's because they've been rejected their whole entire life. Their whole entire existence, they have been rejected. High school, college, at the gym, at work, at the mall, at the movie theater, the park, the beach, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, they constantly face rejection. And no matter what they say or no matter what they do, they get told by black women, white women, Mexican women, Asian women, and Indian women, you're just not good enough. You don't have what Big Boss Calvin 83 on YouTube loves to talk about until you're blue in the face, until pigs can fly into outer space. They say the term is until the cows can come home, but I'm going to say until cows can fly into outer space. You get told by these women you just don't have money, looks, and status. You know, you're not rich, you're not famous, you don't play basketball or football. You know, I want a man that's between 6 feet to 6'5". And I'm going to make a completely separated YouTube video by the end of the week on tall men versus short men, because every person's made a video about it, but I've never really done it. I made, short women versus tall women, who's better in the bedroom, but we're going to talk about that in another video. Now, reason number 5 why men lie to women for sex. Reason number 5, women are too judgmental. Now, when a man gets an opportunity to have sex with a beautiful, attractive woman, doesn't matter if it's a black woman, a white woman, a Mexican woman, an Asian woman, or an Indian woman, a lot of times, if a man goes to a nightclub and the woman drinks too much alcohol, a lot of times he will take an advantage of that situation. And most people will call that type of man a punk, because why are you taking advantage of a woman that's drunk on alcohol? And usually his justification, his reason of trying to justify it, is whenever he talks to a woman that's 100% healthy, she rejects him for virtually everything. And he would love nothing more for her to lower her expectations. So if a man knows that there's something wrong, and he knows he's supposed to correct what is wrong, this type of guy is usually the nice guy or the good guy. Now, the player or the bad boy at some point will tell the woman, okay, you've already had 2 or 3 drinks already, you need to stop. And usually if the player or the bad boy see that the girl's having too much to drink, then he does the only respectable thing he can do is call a taxi and send her home. Now, the bad boy and the player does do this too, but there's a slight major difference. Now, I know some people are going to say, how is there's a slight major difference when you just said both of them do it? I'm about to explain. When the nice guy and the good guy do it, it kind of comes off as a creep, because he knows that the only way he can get some ass is if the girl's drunk. And he counts on the idea of her getting drunk. As for the bad boy and the player tries to think of every other alternative first before he say, okay, I've tried to call her girlfriend. They don't want to pick up the phone. They don't want to respond to the text message. I try to call her brother. I try to call her uncle. Ain't nobody responding to the phone calls and the text. I try to get an Uber, but it's taking an hour for an Uber to come. And this is if you're at a nightclub on a Friday night or on a Saturday night and you're in college or you are on a road trip in another city, in another state. The bad boy or the player tries a total of 5 to 6 times, sometimes 7 to 8 times, to see if he can get someone to help him take her back to the hotel or try to get some help because she's too drunk. Because the bad boy and the player knows that if 24 hours go by and he doesn't get no help, to the eyes of the police, that's sexual harassment. So he tries first before he goes, God damn it, I've tried everything, it ain't nothing working. And if the girl's drunk and she's and she starts stalking the player or the bad boy, then usually the player or the bad boy has to bring 2 or 3 other guys as witnesses that this is what went down. So the player and the bad boy still might engage in that type of behavior even though it's completely wrong, but at least he brings 2 to 3 guys as witnesses of proof of evidence. I did try to find some help, but there was no help available. Last option is to call the police, and if they take too long, then the bad boy and player, he has to, buy some condoms and protect himself. The nice guy, the good guy, will just do it because he knows it's the easiest way to get some ass and don't care what the consequences is until after she wake up 24 hours later and find out he took an advantage of her when she was drunk. Reason number 4. He counts on the idea of her breaking up with her boyfriend. Most nice guys, most good guys, 90% of the time, they love when they hear that a girl broke up with her asshole boyfriend, because it brings music to their ears that now I have a chance to take her out to lunch and dinner. Now I have a chance to be a superhero and save the day. In the real world, we call that being stupid and delusional and wishful thinking. It's called watching too much television and too many movies, because 99.9999%, even if the girl breaks up with the alpha male, the bad boy, the player, the asshole, the jerk, she's gonna go chase another jerk. She's just gonna go mess with another bad boy, another guy that's physically and verbally abusive to her. She's just gonna chase another guy that don't validate her feelings. And the nice guy and the good guy are like, I don't understand. I waited 6 months. I waited 2 years, 3 years, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, I'm doing the LeBron James. I did 2 years, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. I waited for her to break up with this jerk, and she go after another jerk? And it's been proven by math and science that just because you wait a long period of time, that's why I said up to 8 years, that don't guarantee you a shot with the beautiful, attractive woman that's a 7, an 8, a 9, and a 10. Because a lot of men think, no, that's just women that are 8s, 9s, and 10s that do that. A girl could be a 5, a 6, a 7, and still do the same behavior. So reason number 3, he likes it when she come to him for help, which when he realizes that she's doing this, he tries to use that to his advantage. Now here's how this can backfire and blow up in most men's face who try this. Now, when a guy tries to, and here's the sad part about this, when a guy says, well, I've been listening to you and I want to hang out, you know what the girl does when you keep trying to force her to make you hang out? She gets someone to cock block you because you're so persistent on it. You may not like it, but that's what women do. And you see, those are just 3 reasons why men lie for sex. Which brings me to number 2. And this one's, it's going on. People want an answer for it, but it's going on. And reason number 2, he goes after women that have hit the wall. Now you might say, but there are stories of players and bad boys that go after women when they hit the wall. I'm going to explain, once again, I'm going to explain the slight difference between the players and the bad boys and the alpha males that smash women who hit the wall when they don't want to, and the good guys and the nice guys who do it because they know it's easy. And I already told you from my point, nothing's easy. When they lie to a woman and hit the wall, they tell this woman this sad story because they want the woman that's hit the wall, because if it's a girl that they went to high school and college with, or at their job or at work, and it's 10 years later, 15 years later, 20 years later, or extreme cases 25 to 30 years later, that they ain't getting no ass, they ain't had sex with a woman because they let so much time go by. And I know women reject men, but the video is called Sex Game, Why Men Lie to Women for Sex, and I'm giving you 5 reasons. A lot of times they go after women that have hit the wall in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s and their 60s, and as terrifying as this to say on camera, they'll go after women in their 70s that are grandma age, because they know that the older a woman gets, the more desperate she gets, she'll just give up the sex. And the thing is, older women at those advanced ages will give up the ass until they find out that the only reason why you're talking to them or trying to take them out to lunch and dinner is because they're older and you think they're easier to deal with. And then that's when some of them older women start to, I don't want to say play mind games when they get older, or necessarily shit test you. They end up giving you less sex when they find out that you've lied, when you should have just straight out said you're sexually frustrated and you get rejected all the time. Things of that nature. Now for the number 1 reason why men lie for sex. Rejection. I don't care if you're a black man, a white man, a Mexican man, an Asian man, or an Indian man. I don't care if you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, and even sometimes your 50s as a man. It is not normal to go 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year without sexual attention. It is not normal in this world or in this society. And when a man sees that he's not getting his fair share of 4 slices of grandma's apple pie, a lot of times that man lies. A lot of times that man fabricates a lot of stories that are not real. Remember when you were in high school and all your friends were taking the girl out to the school dance, and there's always 1 or 2 guys that couldn't get no girl to ask out to the school dance? So when people came back from the school dance a week later or 2 or 3 weeks later, whether it's high school or college, and you say, yeah man, I had shorty on my arm. What about you, dog? Oh man, I was at home playing video games. And then all the other guys start busting up laughing like, really? We all had a girl to take out to the school dance 3 weeks ago? And you mean to tell me in all that time frame you couldn't get you no female to play some video games? Then he'll lie and say, well actually I was playing video games until the girl came over to, to the house. He'll lie and say, you know how girls take forever to dress, right? And 3 of the guys will pick up on, he just said 10 minutes ago he was at home playing video games. Then he turns around in the same conversation and say, oh, I was playing video games until she show up. So then they go, which one is it? Were you actually playing video games for 3 weeks that you couldn't find no girl to take out to the school dance, or you don't really have no girl? Which one is it? And he won't necessarily say, because it's embarrassing if all the other guys got a girl to the school dance. Now he takes that same mindset, he takes that same train of thought, and he goes into the real world with that same train of thought. He does it again in college. And again, those same 3 or 4 guys find out he lies. Then when he sees that everyone has a girlfriend and he don't, and he's 25 years old and it's 5 years later, or it's 10 years later and he's 30 years old, a lot of people will ask him, how come you ain't got no girlfriend? He'll lie and say, I got a girl. I was just talking to a girl on my phone. And then they'll say, well, if you got a girl on your phone, why don't you take a picture out and show us what your girlfriend looked like? Or why don't you put her on the phone so I can hear her voice? Or show me some pictures of you holding hands or kissing. He'll show you pictures of her and him taking a picture, and she'll look off like this, like, I don't want to be in this picture with his ass. And then they'll laugh and say, dog, according to the picture, it looked like she ain't interested in being in the picture with your ass. And then he'll say, oh, man, that was a bad shot, man. The cameraman didn't know how to use the camera. Again, he lies. And then when he actually does have sex with a whore or a slut, let's say it's been 10 years, right, that he ain't had no sex with a woman. And let's say that he finally scores, but it's with a whore, it's with a slut who loves to have sex with basketball and football players, and the girl feels sorry for this type of guy. She gives him the sex for free, and we call that petty sex, meaning the woman have to feel sorry for you in your current situation because you don't understand that you live in a society that is a competitive market. You got to be competitive in basketball and football. You got to be competitive when it comes to making money. And yes, you got to be competitive when it comes to the bitches and the hoes, mother you know what. This girl will say, I'll just give you sex since you don't understand that we live in a competitive market. And he'll brag to the whole neighborhood that he got laid. And when they find out who he got laid by, a lot of the guys spit their Coca-Cola, their Pepsi, their beer, or their coffee out, and they'll go, dog, she have sex with everyone in the hood, okay? She'd have had sex with basketball players, football players. She'd have been turned out by the football team. The basketball and football team ran a train on her 2 days in a row. And you bragging because it's 10 years later.